Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. So this is going to be part 3 of the initial turn setup, which is going to be rather exciting. We should finish the convoy system more or less today, well, this session anyway, which is going to be quite good. Then at least we can start looking into the deeper aspects of our strategy, which is going to be quite nice. Hello there, Emil. Nice and early as always. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so let's get right into things then, shall we? So we need to finish our convoy setup, which we started not too long ago. So let's go back to our industry cargo planning. There we go. It's going to bring up the calculator. Just need to figure out how many ships of the Casso D variety we have in tow. Hello there, Lorenzo. It's good to see you, my friend. Okay. So these are the ones heading to Hakodate. I could count them manually, but I'm quite lazy. Okay, what are we up to then? About 22, that's not too bad. Hello there, Carl, how you doing, my friend? Okay, so we need a further... What number did we say for the actual cargo? I lost my settings here. We'll set this up again. So we're going to go from Hakodate to Ominato. What was that? 3 hexes? Resources. 1 task force, perhaps? Or did we set it for about 2? Well, we've definitely chosen the Casso D. There you go, Casso D. Yeah, so we went for about 2 task forces, didn't we? 2 convoys, about 38 in total. Hello there, Lord Luba, how you doing, my friend? Right, so we're looking for about 38 in total, so we have like, what, 22? So another couple to go as of yet. It shouldn't take us too long anyway. We'll solve by endurance. What was their endurance like? It was it 9,000? I can't quite remember now. It goes on. Let's have a great look. I've noticed about the suits now. I found out historically. Oh right, yeah. The historical gamer. Yeah, he's had some experience in Japan, so he's going to be roughly aware of obviously the vast. I don't know, the general overview of Japan really. How's the sort of all the ships? Have you visited all the ports in the Empire? Well, we're just about finishing off the convoy system, more or less. It's like we've finished the convoy system from Shanghai and Port Arthur do need doubling up, so we'll double those up potentially. But the shipping lanes from Kijō, Fusan, Toyohara, Sapporo are finished. I'm working on the line from Hakodate to Ominato, and then we need to finish the line from Kishiro to Owaki. So we don't have too many, though I might probably do another, possibly from Formosa. We'll have to see. Depends really on how many escorts we'll have available to us. We'll go from there. We'll figure things out as we go. Okay, ship classes. There we go, Casso D. 4,000 endurance. There we go, plenty of them. So ideally we're going to take them from closer to Japan. There we go, Nagasaki. Kiso E. There we go, that's the Casso D. So we're looking for about 1,725 capacity, and then at least we'll know it's a Casso D. After cargo has done work on the production and R&D, after that the SW patrols. Well, what we need to do as well is we'll talk about industry more in not too long really. Won't take us too long to run onto that one. I think we were on task force, I don't know, I'm just going to put 13. I feel like 13 might be the right number. Probably isn't, but we'll go from there anyway. Doesn't particularly matter as we can figure out how many ships we have on route anyway, or en route. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll sort by cargo capacity then. I mean, their capacity isn't very good, but at the end of the day, they're going to be the most efficient ship, really, in terms of fuel usage. It's like we're going to have quite a few of them, which is... which are these? These are the Daigon. Interesting. Seems some of them are listed as 1865. That is rather intriguing. Okay. Qingdao. Okay, here we go. Yeah, seems like they actually have a difference of about 100 and so, which is rather intriguing. But no, it should be very good. I'm glad that the historical gamer has had experience as Japan. At least has a good general idea of how they play and how they function. So I think that will definitely make for a more intriguing game. And what we have to bear in mind is the game isn't going to be a short one. It could be a potentially short one. It really depends on the throw of the dice. Even if I do critically damage a carrier, or damage a carrier to such a degree that it's not usable, that isn't the war won. It would just simply mean the tables have turned just for that time, but it should be really quite interesting. And I honestly cannot wait for it. I think it's going to be fantastic. How is everybody doing today then? How are we all? There's a castle. Yeah, so on the checklist after we finish these two routes is really to double up the convoys from Shanghai and Port Arthur, as obviously we'll have the round trip. So what we'll try to do then is have one convoy load in, one convoy offload in, vice versa. And then at least we'll have a fairly decent flow surprise. Resources. What we do have to bear in mind is, as well, is we'll see what sort of resource production rate we have, and how long it takes us really to replenish those losses. Well, in terms of actually moving the resources from China to Japan, for example. Because what we'll probably have to do is like tone down the convoys to certain degrees or move them elsewhere, depending on where the resources are, and how ports are built up across the Empire. So the convoy system is going to be intriguing. It's going to be a long-running and rather complicated affair as we try to do min-maxing. But it should be really worthwhile, and I genuinely do enjoy it. I'm sure you guys will learn to appreciate it too. As you have no choice. We might have to start taking some from elsewhere. I'd imagine we probably have quite a few of these out and about in different convoys. This is looking better, actually. Actually, no, 1695. What ship is that? That is a Daigon. Okay. Ideally, I'd like to keep it all within the same class. Kochi. I think we only have about 57 of these bad boys in the Empire, so it's going to be one of those where we may have to throw some other classes in there. But I'm going to try and avoid that if I can. We definitely have enough Kasudis for one full convoy anyway. Seems we'll have to draw them from over here. But that's fine, we're expecting about 2 weeks for all the convoys to reach their destinations anyway. Ah, good, 2 of them. Superb. How much fuel do we have at Hakodate? Yeah, that's plenty of fuel. Ah, plenty here. That's nice. Quite a few. Oop. Still 4 of them, that's nice to find all of those in one area. It does make my life significantly easier. Okay. Fuel usage is going to be somewhat difficult for them. So we probably will have to do is we'll leave them on for now, then I can figure out how we refuel them. At the end of the day, I could just have them call in like Pescadores or a port closer to their destination, just have them refuel. No issue, really. Now, we do run the opportunity, well, we do run the risk of losing a few of our convoys due to enemy submarine activity, but that's just going to be a risk that we have to take. It's a case for having escorts assigned to each and every one of them, or at least attempting to do so, which is something I will try to do. If I can get an escort in there, then I will do. At least it will greatly increase their chances of survival, and it wouldn't be too bad to move more patrol boats to Japan itself. So, we'll go for it from there, really. Try to do our best, but we do have to anticipate losses occurring. In fairness as well, what we'll do with all these convoys is we'll have them set up to load resources before they leave. I might as well get some resources on the way. Or do I? I do lose a day. No, what we'll do is we'll have these convoys move out. The ones that remain in, the ones that will be sent to Tokyo, will be the ones that load up resources so they can actually take those resources directly to Tokyo. As what we'll do is we need to clear out the vast majority of these ports of ships we're not planning on using, or at least not using as of yet, so we can make more room. In a sense, it makes things a lot easier to manage. We don't have unnecessary assets where they don't need to be at risk, if you understand me. That's the idea anyway. We're going to take a look at some of the conversions and upgrades to do as well. As I was doing a little bit reading on the forum, and I did see something rather intriguing. I think, let's see, upgrades next month. Use and A's. That's intriguing. I don't particularly know what I really gain from that. I lose capacity. I mean, they do gain more AA armament, but that's useless to me. Troop transport to submarine auxiliary. I mean, these are rather large ships. I'd rather actually keep them as troop transports. Is it the actual upgrades or is it the conversions I'm looking for? Let's see if I can find the part I was looking for. Right, just 2 moments. Okay, yeah. I'm looking for the Minikaze. I think they may come as APDs. We'll sort by type then. Did I say Minikaze? Yeah, Minikaze. Ah, here we go, Minikaze. Yes, and that does become an APD. The reason why I'm looking at this is, let's see. Right, so they convert. Okay, I'll find it in the actual game. Might be easier to show it there than on here. Okay, actually turn off all ships. Right, here we go, Minikaze. Excuse me, Minikaze, sorry. So 2,500. Max speed 35. Very, very quick ships. These are Minikazes. Kamikaze. Available. There we go. Right, so we're looking for about 2,500 endurance. Okay, 25. Yep, there we go, Minikaze. Right. What we are looking for, there's a certain class of destroyer. Just trying to remember which one it is. Okay. Speed 29. So what I need to see is the upgrade to the APD Minikaze. So if I go to ship upgrades. Perhaps the upgrade date would be easy to see. Right, here we go, Minikaze. But I'm looking for the APD variant. Would it be listed as such? Ah, here we go. Right, now this is what I'm looking for. So, this is what I'm trying to show off. Right. So, if we have a Minikaze, and we have that, well, Minikaze, we have that upgrade to the APD. The APD receives an upgrade in 1942. I don't know if there's an earlier instance. I think there's an earlier instance, potentially. But it actually receives radar. Now, the reason I'm looking at this is, should it drops down to about 29 knots, but I think this could actually be really quite worthwhile, potentially in with our actual carrier groups. Now, whether this drop in speed is worth it, it might be really interesting. At the end of the day, we could even put it in with the battleships, and if we have a form of radar, I think that could be potentially groundbreaking. I mean, what we have to bear in mind is Japan normally, I think the normal circumstances for us to receive our radar are with the Zuikaku, which is a Shokaku class. Yeah, so the Shokaku receives that. The Shokaku class receives that. So Zuikaku and I think Hiro doesn't receive radar. But the Shokaku class, so Zuikaku and Shokaku, those are the ones that receive the radar. This would give us an option to have extra ships with radar. So I think it could be really rather intriguing anyway. I think it could be worthwhile. Let me see if I can find an earlier instance of this. That's what I need to find. I wish I could sort it by actual ship. We'll find it, I'm sure we will. Okay, here's all the Minikazes. So there's APDs. It does make me wonder, if we upgrade a Minikaze early, well, if we convert a Minikaze to an actual APD, would we have the upgrade available sooner? I don't believe that'd probably be possible. Class conversion set changed. Yes, we'd lose the, two of the remounted depth charges. Actually, no, I say that, we gain another two. We gain better ones. But we'd gain the radar. I think the radar could be really interesting. Yeah, the radar would allow you to scramble fighters much faster and get more of the air to stop bombers. Yeah, see, this is what I'm thinking, but I think we could really use this across the Empire. I mean, the Minikaze class is actually not the best destroyer. So if we actually were to convert a decent amount of these Minikazes to the APDs, that would give us radar that we could use across the Empire. Like, for example, we could use the radar in with our battleships. There's obviously the speed drop doesn't matter. There's not many battleships that can do 29 knots anyway. So having that in there could really help us out considerably. We could even have it in with the light carriers or the escort carriers. I do find it intriguing. It's like I was doing a little bit of research on the forum and I came across this and I was like, wow, that's actually really rather impressive. So this is good to know. Okay. So I'm glad that we know about this. It's something a little bit different. Just one second, I'm just going to go to my phone. Okay. So what do you guys reckon? Do you think it could be worthwhile having access to this radar a little bit earlier? I do wonder if there's another instance of radar that could come... Not too sure. I don't know if this is actually entirely correct. But let's take a look at the actual minikazes then, shall we? Right. Oh, so this one is now refitting at Fusan. Okay, so it's now refitting at Fusan. Well, I didn't mean to click it, but sure, why not? We've already got it on the way. So the upgrade will come in. It takes some time to come, but you know what? I think it could be really worthwhile. I mean, the range being 116,000, and it's an actual air radar. So I think that could actually be really quite good. Yes, we'll look for sub-chasers in the future. We will look at what ships would be worthwhile converting into sub-chasers. But yeah, if we take a look at this, so the actual ship itself would have 135 AA. It would actually still have anti-submarine capabilities, which is quite nice. The max speed would be about 29. But you know what, I think that could be really quite nice. Hello there, Gaddy, how you doing, my friend? Well, I just spent a couple minutes just trying to find this, but I found it now, and I'm really happy about it. Basically, what it is we have the Minikaze class of destroyer. So this is what we have now at the moment. So the Minikaze is quite an old destroyer, at least oldish. It has very low endurance. But we looked in through... Well, I looked on the forum and I found this, and this is what I found rather interesting. If we take a look at the ship upgrades, if I convert a Minikaze into the APD variant, the APD variant receives an upgrade in 08-1942, where they can actually gain radar. Now, having radar is rather impressive, considering the only other ships that would have radar would be the Shokaku class of carrier, as far as I'm aware. So if we actually have more radar out there across the Empire in a much sooner time frame, I think that could actually be really quite good. So I do find an intriguing little tidbit there, and something that really could be really different. I don't really... Yeah, it definitely would change from the historical precedent. So, I mean, let's take a look at this. Hello there, Bill, how are you doing, my friend? Yeah, that's what I mean. Your upgrade does look interesting. Adding radar to the fleets might be interesting. If we take a look at the Minikaze, so the Minikaze has 135 AA, 58 maneuver, top speed, obviously is high at about 33, something like that, maybe 35. We do lose, well, we don't lose much maneuver. We don't lose much AA. But just having their radar capability might be worthwhile. And let's figure out how many of these Minikazes we have in the Empire. I mean, where would we go? So ships, potentially. So, active. DDs. Actually, APDs might be rather interesting. Ah. Okay, so these are Minikazes. What map mod is this? Oh, it's one that was developed by ChemKid. I'll post a link at some point in the future. Okay. Oh, Navy, sorry. Right. So these are active right now. So you're in Sasebo. I believe, anyway. So let's find them. So we'll look for Sasebo. Yeah. I mean, this is it. Do we accept the loss of a few knots? It's one of those. It could even be where we have these ships embedded in like anti-aircraft pickets, so they don't have to be in with the main carriers until we reach somewhere where we feel that the mobility is in the key priority. So, for example, if I'm off the coast of, let's say, Pearl Harbor, for instance. And we know we're going to be in the area for some time, and we're not going to be moving too far, and we don't need to move too fast in doing so. It would be worthwhile embedding them back into the actual task force and having that radar capability. Now, I don't actually know how effective radar actually is, as I've never really had the opportunity to use it. But what we have to bear in mind is that the Americans receive radar far in advance of what we really do. They have more radar, they'll have it sooner. And I think this could really be a make or break thing for the Japanese Empire. I think it would certainly give us quite a, well, edge to fight back with. So I really do like that idea. Right, so let's go and take a look in Sasebo. Can't remember where Sasebo is right now, but we'll find it. Apologise for getting all tongue-tied. Okay. Hmm. Ah, here we go, Nagasaki. No wonder we couldn't find it under S. AP, we have the... Ah, here we go, APD. Right, so we technically don't have them here, which is rather intriguing. We do have a couple Minakazes though. And this is it, it's like if I have them converted... I mean, something on top of that is the fact they'd actually have that troop transport capability, which is rather intriguing, you know. But it also works if you have it parked in port on an island. I'm not entirely sure, you know. Potentially. Radar was invented by a Japanese dude in the 1920s. Right, yeah. So this is something to bear in mind, is the fact that we'd actually gain a small amount of cargo capacity and troop transport capabilities. So these would be our fast transports, and you know what? Fast transports are really remarkably interesting to me. I need to gather as many of these APDs as we can. What version do you use for the one on the Pacific tracker? Ooh, God, what version do I use? That version. I don't even know if that's the latest version. I think it is. I don't know if there is another one. But yeah. And if there's a more modern version, bloody well let me know. But yeah, there we go. Okay. So this is intriguing. Now, the Momi class. Moomi. Let's try and figure out something about that then, shall we? Right, here we go, the Momi. Yeah, you're welcome, dude. Okay. That's rather intriguing. So, this one does receive radar as well. I'd imagine a lot of ships will have radar in 43. At least the vast majority. Okay, but that's pretty good to know. Right, so, what do you guys reckon? Do we have the Minakazes converted to the APDs? It might be worthwhile. I'm not entirely sure what sort of timescale we're looking at, but I don't think it'd take us too long to actually do that. So I think we've got one being converted over in Fusan at the moment. So if I find that, that could help us. So let's take a look at the port. Right, show ships under repair. Show ships due upgrades. Manage ships under repair. Okay, so you can see here we have the Minakaze. So its priority is, let's see. So if I set that to normal then, what could we expect? Critical. So that's in shipyard. I'm trying to figure out how many days. Is that 32 days? Ah, right. Repair estimates refit in about 32 days. Does it say somewhere how long that upgrade is going to take? So, to convert them to the APDs, so the destroyer transports, will take us about 32 days. Let's see, does that change on the different settings? No, that's just it. So even on low priority, they're still going to take 32 days. Even if I have on PSI, it's only 32 days. Okay, so the repair shipyards here about capacity of 15,000 tons. I didn't realise we had repair shipyards over here, to be fair. But that's good to know. So if I have that there, that's going to take about 32 days. Which, you know what, that's not bad at all. That is not bad at all. It's still going to have ASW capabilities, but you know what, I actually would like to have a few APDs. So, I'm happy with that. What do you guys reckon? I think we can manage that. I mean, this is it. We're going to have more troop transport capabilities, and they're going to be able to move faster, which is quite nice. Like, let's see, for instance, I don't know. Yeah, shipyard estimates. There you go. I mean, let's find a unit over here somewhere. Do you have it somewhere on the tracker? Let's take a quick look at the tracker, actually. So, upgrades is probably what we want to look for. Minakazi. Okay, here we go. I'm not sure how long it would take. I'd imagine... So that says delay 18. Now if I look at conversions, let's figure this out. Ah, okay, time 32. Okay, so it looks as though it would only take potentially 18 days for this to be upgraded. So once we do actually reach this time in 1942, that's not bad, you know. I mean, what is this, August 1942? So the thing is, I think that's really worthwhile. Yeah, I mean, August 1942. That's going to make a big difference. We're not going to be that far into the war by that point. I mean, we will be a considerable time in. But if we suddenly come out with this radar capabilities, I think that is definitely going to catch THG and the Americans off guard. They're not going to be expecting that. I really don't think they'll be expecting that. I think this could actually be really quite a war-changing effort. I know it seems like a small part, but having that radar capability is going to be rather impressive. I mean, I'm actually really excited about this. So let's take a look at the number of ships then that we have. So let's go for DDs. Let's see. Can I sort this by class? Right, class. Okay. Right, so Minakazi. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Or maybe 12 or 13. I might have miscounted. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Actually. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's rather impressive. Actually, what am I on about? 12. Oh god, this plays my eyes. Yeah, and these are... I don't know, what do you guys reckon? Should we convert the Minikazis that we do have in port already? Let's take a look at, I don't know, let's say this engineering. Load cost, so troop load cost. Okay, so I think we'd have about 250 per Minikazi APD. So if we think of it like this way, 4 Minikazis would be able to carry engineered units, and they'll do it quickly. So I think they're really worthwhile. I think we could actually use them in really intriguing ways, having a couple of them to carry engineers out and about. It might be that we have like Kidabutai in the future with a couple of these Minikazi APDs, and they could be carrying engineers that we drop off on islands to build up airfields, and it could be rather intriguing. I really do like the idea. Let's take a look at what we have Empire-wide in terms of the APD class. Let's see. So we only have a couple, so we have 1, 2, yeah, not many, about 6. So these are Minikazis. Ah, see, now they're actually carrying troops already. Yeah, okay. So you have to upgrade, but there's no more upgrades. But I think that's worthwhile. I think this is actually going to make an old ship hell of a lot more useful. So yeah, we can see the troop capacity about 250. I think that could be really, really good. Really good. We're not going to lose too much either. Let's take a look at these other classes then. So this is the Momi. No conversions here, you just upgrade. But when you do upgrade, you gain radar too. But that is some time away. Okay. Really happy. Let's go for it. Let's go for it indeed. Okay, these are Wakataki? What is that upgrade like? See, they don't receive radar, and they're not very good at being an APD. Okay, okay. We'll convert the Midikazes that we have in Japan. Yep, convert. Okay, so 70,000 and 70,640. Okay. I was just looking to see if it uses the actual supplies there. Right, so that is going to be 4 APD Minikazes ready in just over a month, which is not bad. So we're looking at January 1942, we'll have a few APD Minikazes. So let's see, managed ships under repair. We are looking at 32? Yeah, 32 days. That's not bad, you know, I'm really... I mean, let's see, if I change this allocation, it doesn't change that. Okay. I don't think Historical Gamer would be expecting this. And let's be honest, these 2500 endurance destroyers are not very good for that. I mean, sure, I could use them on the ASW, but I can still use them on ASW, but I'd rather have them for this greater purpose. Okay, is this another Minikaze? I think we'll convert these other two. So 1 over here, 3 over here, so that brings us up to 6. Okay. Do we stick to about 6 for the time being? Leaves us some more destroyers available for escort duty. Yeah, the 17 engine damage and all those DDs. I mean, that's basically it's having its engine ripped out pretty much, or at least parts of it. And making room for the actual bloody radar equipment. Well, troop transportation capabilities. Yeah, I think we'll stick with having 6 Minikaze APDs created, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, that was a hell of a tangent, but I hope you guys don't mind that. I think that's going to be really rather intriguing. I think it's going to be something of an ace up my sleeve. Has he moved on to military actions yet? Not quite. Don't get too excited, my friend. Okay, so... Okay, I think we need roughly 2 more. Potentially 2 more. Right, but you know, I'm really looking forward to having that extra radar in August 1942. That's going to be fantastic. I'm going to have to do my research into radar now, actually. Well, this is it. I mean, we're losing these Minikazes for about a month, and we're going to have them back, and they're still going to have the ASW capabilities. But I think it could actually be really handy. I could actually just have them grouped together, and we could have them as like a fast transport sort of fleet. Well, flotilla. And we could use them to actually transport engineers back and forth between China and Japan. We could even have them move back and forth between Japan and the Philippines. We could actually use them quite effectively in a few different ways. I mean, that troop transport capability is actually quite nice. I'm not gonna talk it down. It's actually very handy. I mean, they're well protected and they're very maneuverable, so they're not going to be under the constant threat of submarines per se. So that's very nice. And the thing is, it's going to keep THG on his bloody toes, which is where I want him. I think the more surprises we have, the better. I don't think he'll be suspecting that radar coverage. I mean, in the end of the day, we have maybe like 2 of these Minakaze APDs embedded within our battleships, or like Kiributai, or if we split it off into another one. That's going to spread out our radar coverage, which is going to mean that we are going to be a hell of a lot more in the know. It's going to improve the ability of our Navy, of our Air Force to actually react, which is rather intriguing. I mean, what I'd love to know is whether we could actually just have it parked off the coast of, let's say, like Malaya. Would that allow my ground-based fighters, well, would it allow my ground-based aircraft to be more effective in that short radius? It would be rather intriguing, and I'm really quite excited. Okay. You can tell, can't you? These are Daigons. Daigons. Yeah, they are. Trucks, like, gone. Right, let's get orders. There we go, another 2. Just what I needed. I don't know, will we go to like 21 or 22, something like that? Okay, so that roughly should be enough for that convoy route. So just the one from over here to Wacky, and we're more or less done with that. We'll have to take a look at doubling up Port Arthur and Shanghai. But what I'll do is I'll start working in a few more other things just to break the episode up. It would be nice to have them in the fleet, or if they worked while parked, then it would be nice just to strategically deploy them over the Pacific. Yeah, that's going to be really cool. I think you're impressed, aren't you, Lord Uber? Go on, admit it. Admit it, I'm doing something right. Admit it, you goddamn bitch. No, I'm glad I actually spent some time reading through the forums. You can find a few rather intriguing things like that. Okay, so we're looking at Kashiro. Let's figure out what we're going to need from Kashiro. So I'm going to have to... Let's just make a task force. I just need to figure out the distance here on a direct route. This one isn't going to take us anywhere near as long, I don't imagine. Okay. So if I was to head directly to Iwaki, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 hexes. One of our longest routes here. Woo! I'm feeling the love. I'm feeling it. Papa, can you hear me? Okay, cargo planning. Crap, what did they call that? Was it Kashiro? Kashiro, I believe it was called. Yeah, here we go, Kashiro. Going to look for Iwaki. So, 11 did I say? So, for 2. Now we're going to have to figure out really... let's see. Right, so it's not a very large convoy. It's not going to be kind of a huge amount. So I'm going to double it up just so we can obviously have that more or less reliable resource flow. So we're looking at 11 hexes. So ideally I want to do this in about 2 days. So we're looking at ships from 6 hexes and above. So obviously these ones down here, like Vitosu, Kiso, Daigon, Miyati, Gozans are too slow. They could do it. Now, don't get me wrong. They could do that convoy. I just want to have them move pretty quickly. I'm looking at about 2 days travel time, at least on the open waters. Anything less than that is great. I mean, that's what I really want. I want it to work out like that. Okay. I think that's going to be the best way. If we can keep the travel time more or less uniform, it does work out, means that we can sort of choose the best ship for the job. So we have a choice from all these ships here. Obviously we take out the tankers and the oilers. And now is it down a little bit further? So if we take here a look, I mean, we have so many of these Aidens. Absolutely loads of them are done. Fuel per hex is 4.88. Fuel per day then is what we really want to look at. But what I'd like to consider as well is the number of ships per task force. Ships total... Right, here we go. Like, we could have 3 use and ends and they'd do that job pretty damn well. Which is actually really... something I'd like to consider. It might be worthwhile to actually use the use and end class if we have them available. Or even... Let's see, the Ansuyu... C class, we do have a good number of those available. I don't think we're using many of them, at least in mainline Japan. But even Limas could do quite well on that. We've more or less used all our Kyushus, we've used our Yusen-S's, Yusen-A's. We might have some Yusen-N's, but I don't think we'll have many, if any. And I'd rather use them for like Port Arthur and Shanghai. I mean, the Castle D could do it, but we don't have really any of them left. We do have to take into consideration the size of the task force. Okay. Right. I mean, the Castle D's are actually really fuel effective. I'd have to find another 12 of them. And that's rather difficult. I mean, I'd have to find another 24 of them, I should say. It's 11 hexes and no ship makes 11 hexes a day. Yeah, that's true. I mean, this is why we're talking about 2 days anyway. It's like, I know these ships won't make it. It's like, for example, even these at 10 hexes a day, they wouldn't make it in 1 day. So what I'm doing is working on the basis that these ships, for example, move at 6 hexes per day, so 2 days they'll be there. Obviously the ones at 5 hexes per day would take 3 days to get there, so that's fine. I'm just ruling them out. So I'm just working on that sort of basis. Okay. So... I mean, the Aiden class is tempting me, mostly because they're cheapest ships, they're all over, I'd have plenty to replace them with, as that's going to be the route that's probably most vulnerable, as it's on the other side of Japan, and it's open to the Pacific. It's going to be one of those where it'd be very sort of difficult to keep that route under wraps. So that is it's actually a pretty valid reason. I'd only have to have 8 of them as well, which is rather nice. I think what we'll do then is we'll use the Aiden class. It's not going to be the most effective in fuel, but I think it could be worthwhile due to the fact that we have a pound a penny of them. Hello there, Oswind. How you doing, my friend? So yeah, I think that could be quite worthwhile. I mean, this is it. We have to bear in mind here. Let's go take a look at the wider picture. Try and get it all on if I can. Yeah, let's bring up my drawing tool here. Bum ba da bum 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 da da ba dum bum. Let's move the... Right, there we go. Right, perfect. So we're going to draw these routes out. So for example, I'm going to head here. You will head over there. You will head there. You head there. You head here. You head here. You there. You there. And then maybe another one coming up from this way. It really does pretend. Toho's look decent. I'll take a quick look at those. Yeah, so what we have to bear in mind here is... Let's go for yellow. So this yellow is representing really my ASW defensive lines. Or choke points, I suppose you could call it. Yeah, choke points are probably better. I mean, this is not really much of a choke point. It's quite a large gap. Between China and Japan, of course, but at the end of the day, at least I have China and Japan here, so if it does limit it, it's a large, wide open area, but at least it's limited. It's not going to be unlimited like this. I mean, this is ridiculous. They could approach me from any direction here. So that's something we do have to bear in mind. So when it comes to Japan itself, this route is by far the most dangerous, in my opinion. Moving from here to here is very dangerous. I mean, what we'll have to do then really is consider where we base our planes, because we are going to have ASW flights. It's simply going to have to happen. We are going to have to be on the bloody ball when it comes to the anti-submarine warfare capabilities of Japan. Right. So, I mean, this is going to be a long-running thing that we're going to have to really refine. But hey, who knows? Maybe having radar. Not like radar's going to make a difference for, like, these submarines, but hey, I can dream. But yeah, that's kind of like how our resource route is going to look. In fairness, I'm actually going to take a quick screenshot of that, just because it's going to be quite helpful to possibly, like, show people. Alright, there we go. Oops. There we go. Okay, we'll clear that off. Can't you reroute the dangerous line into one of the ports in the Sea of Japan? Possibly. But what we have to consider is this is then going to go like that. I mean, I could have it going to Ominato, but that is putting a lot of ships in this small area, which in some ways works well for me, but in some ways it does work against me. Are you in THG playing with the historical US torpedoes on? Yes. He does have a lot of advantages, as it is. It's like, sure, it could be rather intriguing if his torpedoes were very effective, but we'll work with the historical ones. I think they'll gear up in effectiveness sooner or later. Oops, accidentally hit the microphone there. I mean, we could look at a potential alternative port. It's one of those, I'm going to be moving a heck of a lot of supplies from here, so let's see, resources, sorry, so port level 6, port level 6, well, sorry, 5, so yeah, it's going to be busy handling this each day. I'm only going to be having a convoy from Sapporo. Port capacity of 2, port capacity of 3, Sendai... Port capacity 3. I do have some heavy industry there at Sendai. Yeah, pretty much. Right. I don't know, what do you reckon? Maybe Sendai. I mean, I could have it there, but 3 to 3 does match up very well. It's the same capacity as Waiki. And it's actually on one of the main strategic rail lines. So I think we'll go for that then. We'll cancel the expansion of the port here at Waiki. We'll have it instead travel to Sendai. Which does make things actually quite a bit better in terms of distance. So we're playing about new date events. So Sendai. Sendai. And how far is Sendai? How many hexes? Let's see. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3. Yep, 11. 11? Okay. How big is that port at Niigata? Niigata is size 5. Let's see if we were to change it to Niigata. So this is on a direct route, so we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Not that it matters, but we'd have to have a very fast transport class to get there in 2 days. I don't know, I think we'll stick with potentially Sendai. It's not too bad actually, at least we'd have resources flown directly into Sendai where there is obviously heavy industry and light industry, so at least the heavy industry could use the, well, the light industry of course could use the resources too. Which is not a bad thing, and it's on the main route, so it should flow better, potentially. Possibly so anyway. It's the same size port. If I send them to Niigata, which is a arguably larger port, well obviously it's size 5, I'm not going to be utilising it as fully. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, there we go, yeah, 10 hexes. I was thinking that was weird if it was the same. So 10 hexes. That does allow us to use the Tosus, or the Kisos, or the Daigons, or the Miyatis, or the Gozans, which actually does bring us a lot more opportunity here, which is rather interesting. Well, yes, it really does give us access to everything here, for example. So what I could do now, if I send them to Sendai, is I could sort by fuel per hex, which is rather interesting. As for lines of safety, we can just add more escorts to that convoy. Yeah, true. I mean, lines of safety is a very real question. I think we can really debate that one. We can really think about that. I mean, let's take a quick look then. Let's see if there's not a port nearby that's roughly the same size. We don't have a base force there. Well, we have a base force there. We do have an engineer regiment. I don't know if that actually gives them more naval support. Let's see, aviation support. Naval support is 44 over here. What is it over at Awaki? Awaki only has 37. So yeah, we could actually have resources flow faster into Sendai as well. Okay, let's see. Akita, port 1, port 2, 5, 3, sorry 2. What is their naval support? Ooh. Well, that's actually quite good, you know, but I'm going to have to move that. Why is that so good? That's very good. Why is that so good? What is it that makes you so good? Where is that naval support coming from? Well, no, actually that's rather intriguing. It's like, let's take a look then. Let's see how that might work out with the numbers. I didn't expect it to be that good. I've already forgot the name of the place now. God damn it. Was that it? Hachi. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's take a look at the distance. Obviously that's going to be significantly less. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Ooh. There's a big difference there. It might be worthwhile to actually build that port up. Yeah, I think I'll start the expansion of this port here. So what we could do then is we could have them travel to the Sendai, and then in time we could have them actually relocate the convoy to there. Obviously it's a shorter distance, and there's a heck of a lot of naval support. It's just an issue that they wouldn't be able to unload. It'd take them about, what, like 2-3 days, something like that, to unload all the convoy's resources, while Sendai would be able to manage that in about 1 day. God, you know what? I love that we have to contemplate this sort of stuff. Really do. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sending 3 hexes further. So let's take a look at the difference. So, port load here. This is what we have to bear in mind. Right, yeah, you can see here. I'm just checking on Wacky, see what the difference is at Wacky. Ah, so it seems a Wacky can actually handle that amount of resources. That does rather intrigue me then. I wonder why. Let's see, bases. Japan. That is rather intriguing. That's something I'm going to have to figure out more, like what dictates that. So it seems we are going to have to go to Awaki. Seems like we actually don't have a choice if we want to be unloading these resources each day. Right. So that's rather intriguing though. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research into that. Okay. These guys are too slow. So we're looking from 6 and above. So the Kasu Ds would need quite a few. The Gozan's a pretty interesting alternative. What was the one that you suggested? The... was it the Tosu? Or something? Toho? That was it, Toho. Yeah, I wouldn't need many of them per task force. Mayati. Okay, that's too slow sadly. Is it Anchor? Hello there, Snake. How you doing, my friend? Okay, so what we'll do then is we'll go from these guys. Oh, see. Right, okay, so these are all cargo. So eliminate anything that we can't use. Don't really have any Kasu Ds, but the Kasu Ds aren't in here anyway. I could potentially have the lemurs. I wouldn't need many lemurs. I suppose in some ways it's actually a relatively safe convoy in some aspects, as it might be worthwhile to use like the lemurs. It might be one of those where it's actually more worthwhile to use less ships. It might not be as fuel efficient, but they're not going to be as at risk. Or is it more efficient to use more ships? I suppose might. What do you guys reckon? Are we better off using less ships? Or are we better off using more ships? Bear in mind, more of these ships does equal a larger task force, which is potentially easier to find. But if we do get attacked, we are going to lose a smaller portion of those resources in said convoy. And we will be using a cheaper class of ship, relatively speaking, so we can replace that. But then again, if we have less ships in the convoy that are superior, that would mean that we have more ships available for other duties. It's an interesting question. It is actually a really interesting question. And it's one of them where it's a good and bad answer either way. Which is really nice. I like that. I like where you really have to think about the pros and cons and really make the best decision for us. I think less ships, but better. It's an interesting option. It's one to consider. It's definitely one to consider. And it's definitely easier to manage it. Hello there, Lou. Hi guys, when did the live stream start? We started about an hour ago. Hour and 8 minutes ago. Yeah, it's going to be one of those where it seems like we're getting very little done, but we are doing a hell of a lot, really. I'd go with something you can easily replace. I think we'll try that. We'll go for like a sort of middle ground where it's not as expensive, but we don't have to have as many. Ideally, something with a little bit more fuel efficiency. So I think what we'll do then is, if you have more convoys, we'll have less ships for escorts. I think more is better. That's also a point. It's also a point. Right. So I'm going to remove anything over 10. Right. Oh, well, we don't have a use on S. In even over these ones at 12, they're not very fuel efficient either. So that leaves us down to the Lima, where we'd need 3. The Kashino, where we'd need 4. The Aden, where we'd need 4. Or the Hishimi, where we'd need 5. We'd only have one of those. Wow, I wonder where that is. That's pretty cool. That's the only ship of its kind. That's rather impressive. I wonder how long that's going to last. So we could use the Aden, which is actually more fuel efficient than the Lima, and it uses one more ship, so we'd have a total of 8 versus 2. I think we'll go with the Aden. Or the Hishimi is actually a little bit more fuel effective. Yeah, but there's significantly less of them. We'll go for the Aden then. Actually, these guys are using less fuel per day. Intriguing. They're a little bit slower. But it doesn't matter, they'll still be there in 2 days. Tonnage is something that we do have to bear in mind as well. Yeah, we'll go with the Aden class. That's a good middle ground. I think the Limas are more valuable on the Port Alpha run due to their speed being higher. Well, the Shanghai run. Okay, ship classes. Aden is 9,400. Okay. Their endurance is pretty damn good. Yeah, look at them. They're bloody all over. I even have some at Kishiro already. As a Toho. There we go. I also checked that second last column might interest you. This one? Oh yeah, task force fuel per day. God damn it, not Uber. I don't look this way, my vision stops here. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, so we can see the Adens would use 116 fuel per day, so it's actually the second most fuel efficient. That's pretty cool. I'm thinking good about that music. Who's playing now? Yeah, I have a mix of Hearts of Iron 3 music and Hearts of Iron 2 music. I'd like to see if I could find Hearts of Iron 1 music. Well, that'd be intriguing. I don't know if that's copyright free, but you know what? I use this Darkest Hour music and Hearts of Iron 3 music because it's copyright free, which is really nice. It's nice to get paid for actually the work done. It's like, I know it looks like, I mean, it's like I am playing a game at the end of the day, but you know what? It's like, you wouldn't believe how much of my life actually is dedicated to this sort of thing. It's mad, really. Absolute madness. Okay, so this is really cool to see. Right, okay. So you're already here, so you can start loading some resources up. Yeah, I found it. Actually, let's see if we can find some in the ports nearby. We only need, like, what, 8? And they are common as muck, so that should be good. Well, we have one here, so at least that's something. Wait, is this the right one? So goes that. Actually, we have quite a few here. Aidens aren't that fast, but are quite fuel efficient and are bloody everywhere. That's definitely right. Get the Grigsby's music is copyrighted, yes, which is a shame. It's why I only really use it on the Matrix Twitch streams, because I don't obviously gain that advertising revenue anyway. What about the Soviets in that game? Did they... Well, how it works is I'll show just in a moment. Okay, so these should be goes ends. Sorry, Adens. So, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, look at that. Look how nice that is. We literally have put this task force together already. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, that's good. At least that convoy can be underway pretty damn quickly. Right, we'll take a quick look at the Port Arthur and Shanghai convoy soon. But yes, let's look at how it works then in regards to the Soviets. So, we have a garrison in the the Manchukuo garrison, which has 11,450 assault value in total. If it goes under 8,000 assault value, then there's a chance that the Soviets will become active and will invade. Well, will attack. So we always need to maintain a garrison above 8,000. I don't know if it changes, but definitely above 8,000. So what we'll do is, in the future, is we'll take a look through the garrison in Manchukuo and look at what we can take away and make available for us to use. So that's something to bear in mind. That's roughly how it works in terms of Soviet activation. Okay. Right, so we have more or less set up the main convoy route. Do we set up a convoy route from this area? That's a good question. I mean, let's figure out how many resources we generate in Formosa. Right, 20... 170. Okay, 170 resources generated in Formosa. So let's see. 170 times 20. So we're generating 3,400 resources per day, more or less. If the Soviets attack, who commands them? The AI or the player? And I imagine it'd be the player. I'd imagine THG would just be like, well, time to crush them. Yeah, I'd imagine it'd be player. So yeah, it seems we produce 3,400 tons of resources each day in Formosa. Right, if it was to go from Taihoku, where would we take that to? So that is a size 4 port. Size 4 port over here at Kagoshima. Okay. Yeah, the music is from Hearthstone 2. Right, let's see. I don't have a ship here, god damn it. Do I have a ship over here at Kagoshima? Yes, I do. Right, so I'm just going to put together one here just so I can see the sort of distance. I don't know if I'm going to run a task force from that area. We'll see. Right, so if I was to have that head to Taihoku on a direct route, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 17 hexes. Yes, I watched Legends of Galactic Heroes. I need to start watching the original one. And oh my god, did you see the latest Overlord episode? Ah, man, love those. They felt like they were just gone in a flash. I really did enjoy the episode where, like, Papa Bone Daddy Ainz has obviously, like, the tomb set as a trap. So that was pretty cool. I just love the part where, like, Ainz takes his, like, robe off and just, like, hear Shaltia just in the background going, ah! And then, like, Akalitus, like, just, like, shoves it out of the way. Oh, I think it was fantastic. It's honestly such a funny show. Okay, back on to task instead of, like, weebing out. Taihoku. I'm butchering every pronunciation of these names. I imagine the Japanese will want to murder me. Bam, ba, bam, 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 da, da. Right, there we go, Taihoku to Kagoshima. If I can find it. I enjoyed this series. I mean, I've not seen the original, so I can't really compare it. But I really enjoy the way the space combat is presented. I really do like that. I like how the fleets flow, which is really cool. Yeah, funny show, hundreds of humans dying. I know, right? Oh dear, more into skeleton army. I think one of the highlights of the series 3 is just with, like, Ainz, when he, like, he's on the horse with Mari, and he's like, he just, like, suddenly, like, holds her hips, and it's just like, oh my god, that made me laugh. Oh dear, it's a really good show. I'm really enjoying it. Okay, I'm looking for Kagoshima. Yeah, here we go, Kagoshima. Would I say it was like 14 hexes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, wait 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I wish it was 14. Anyway, so 17 hexes is what we're working with. The design of the characters is so much better than the original. That's pretty cool. I'll have to take a look at that afterwards. I feel bad for the fingers. Oh my god, if you counted the seconds, it actually was like 5 seconds. Yeah, I know, right? They got absolutely annihilated. I mean, what's the name of the hamster? Like, Hamsuke? Like, Jesus Christ, he just annihilates that dude. Just the way he finishes him by, like, crushing his head with, like, the tail. Oh my god, that was brutal. Okay, guys, you're like, I'm getting, like, distracted here. Oh boy. Okay. Right-o. Now, this is going to be an interesting one. I don't think... I like all sorts of different animes, but I really do enjoy the comedic value. I mean, Jesus Christ, I watched, like, Graveyard of Fireflies. Bloody hell, that made me cry. I'm not even ashamed to admit that. That was a bloody sad anime. Well, animated film. Right, let's see. So, Ship's Task Force. It's going to be one of those things. So if we take a look at Viki event, so Kagoshima can take about 20,350 tons of resources. Taihoku can load about 21,750 tons of resources. So it's going to be a convoy without that many ships, but I'm going to need them to be fairly fast. Well, let's look at it this way. There's absolutely no way that we can do this in about 2 days. It simply is no way. Unless I was using like a Kyushu or something of that sort of speed. And it's not worth it. I don't have that many resources coming out of that area. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up like a convoy from Taihoku just so I have these extra resources coming into Japan. I need more resources in Japan as soon as possible. So we'll take a look at that. So, I mean, in reality, I'm looking at 3 days now, aren't I? So, this is somewhat easier. So all of these at 5 are eliminated. It would take them far too long to do that route. I mean, that'd be 5, 10, 15, 20, and yeah, that's no good. For that'd be 4 days. The rest of them can make in about 3 days. Unless you have these guys, which you can make in 2 days, but they're really too valuable. So, let's see. We'll go for 3 days, and we'll just have to accept that. Right, so let's move the tankers from the list. As well as the oilers. So that leaves us with these guys. Let's see. So I've used the Kasudis. Okay, yep, sorry about that. So I've used the Kasudis. I don't really have many of them left. Does Historical Gamer know about the tracker? Probably? I'd hope so. He's going to be really worried if he doesn't. I'm not going to use the Lima. I don't know, how about I use the Lima? I don't have any U's and N's left. I don't know how many Limas I have available. I think I should have some of them available, we'll see. If I was to use the Lima, I'd only need 6 of them, which is actually pretty good. They'd load 18,375 tons of resources, which is actually the 3rd best? Something like that. But they'd actually be the most fuel efficient. Yeah, that's pretty good. So I think we'll probably go with the Limas then. So we'll see how many Limas we actually have available to us then. So ships. Ship classes. Okay, so the Lima is 12,000 endurance. At least it's going to be, yeah, you can see why it's going to be fairly fuel efficient. So let's look for some Limos. Sorted by endurance. Did I say 12,000? Yeah, Lima. So I do have some kind of nearby. So Cameron Bay. There are resources in this area, but there's not enough in a compact area to really make it worthwhile. Yeah, so we'll have the ships travel from Camaran Bay. Okay, that's 2 of them. I only need, what is it, 6? Yeah, so I'm looking at only about 6, so that's pretty good. At the end of the day, it's going to be a fairly low-key convoy, but I think it has its place. Yeah. And I produce a good few thousand tons of resources there each day, so we'll move what we have available and then I could use them elsewhere, so there's no issues really. I'm wondering, Indochina Malaya isn't connected by rails, i.e. resources don't flow to Shanghai. How it supposedly works is, from what I've seen on the forum, is if you control, let's say for example that we have Canton here, and we want our resources to flow to Chushian, or Cheyenne, something like that. I think as long as we controlled a path to them that was unobstructed by an enemy force, that we control all this area, resources would flow. I don't think they flow at the same rate as they would do of a railroad, but that's something that we'd have to really find out. Will you send them to Japan directly, or just Formosa and back? Well, they'll go from Formosa, so from Taihoku to Kagoshima, and then back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then what I'll do is I'll probably use them in the future once we've probably drained the resources on Formosa, is I could just have transport supply, and we'll see how that goes. So yeah, just another 4 more. They're not very resource intensive, which is pretty nice. Actually, I'm gonna keep the ones in China, sorry, the ones in Japan if I can. I need to actually add on to the Shanghai and Port Arthur routes in a moment. I mean, I don't know why I'm using the one from Shanghai, but kind of silly. But oh well. I meant Vietnam, Formosa, and then... Ah, right, okay. It's a good question, really. I think what I'd be better off doing is... Well, where would I be better off doing it? I'd say it really depends on how resources flow. If they flow across land... Then again, it's one of those, really. I was thinking Hong Kong, but we're not going to have Hong Kong for some time, or potentially for some time. And we won't have full control of southern China for some time either. So I think it might be worthwhile to have flow to Pescadores, potentially. Maybe Pescadores, does depend. What is the fuel, sorry, port capacity? Port capacity 5. Okay. 5, and they do have a repair shipyard. Fuel is good. Okay. Yeah, it might be either Pescadores or Takao. Probably Pescadores. Or even Takao. Maybe the resources flow up here to Taihoku. That's also an opportunity. We'll consider that one in the future. I don't think we'll be running other convoys in this, at least for the foreseeable future until things change. But we'll go from there. Right, we do have some over at Saipan. I mean, what I'm going to have to consider as well is we do need to have automatic convoys between Japan and the Marshall Islands like Truk, well, islands like Truk, and then the other bases too. So that's something to bear in mind. Lima, Task Force 3. Just 2 more now. So Taihoku. I mean, their endurance is very good, so it shouldn't matter. That's good then. Okay. Sure, you need to get the resources from China, etc. Indochina isn't that important now. Very, very true. Oh, it seems like I have some at Takao. that makes things easy. Ah, 2 of them. Actually 3 of them. Fantastic. That's all we need. Okay, Tahoku. There we go. Right. Let's take a quick look. I think it's about 12. Let's see. Direct route. What do you think if taking Pacao and French Guangzhouwan? After that, you could connect road with Japanese China and Malaya with Vietnam. Possibly. Why don't you send it all to Shanghai and then to Japan? Would that be easier to defend? It's a question. It's definitely a question. It's one of those of I don't want to have all my eggs in one basket, I suppose. If I could have well, if I could have THG try and like keep submarines down this area, at least then away from Shanghai. But we'll see. It's always an opportunity. Right, so let's figure out what our distance is. So Fukuoka, we are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, yeah. Question time of unloading and loading. I mean, this is it. Shanghai is going to be very, very busy. How many did I say again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Right. So with this one, we already do have a convoy set up as such. But let's look. So 16. It's hex per day. So these are the only ones I could make it. And there's really not much choice when it comes to it. How do you manage to count these hexes? The thing is, it's like, I'm looking at it, and it's like, it looks easier when you're actually seeing the video. But I don't know, it's just, it sort of messes with my eyes a little bit with where the actual hexes are. I don't know how to explain it. I guess it's just how it looks on my screen. It just messes my eyes a little bit. That's my excuse anyway. So we used all our use and S's, we used our use and A's, we used our Kyushus. So we'd have to see if we had use and N's. And if I was to do one task force of them, I'd need, fucking hell, 26. It's a lot of use and N's. What is that? Right, use and N, 13,000. I do have a couple. I still do have a couple. Though it might be worthwhile having them sent to Shanghai, due to the distance being potentially shorter. I think the distance between Shanghai is significantly less. Okay, let's see. We actually have 2 use and ends here, which is really nice. Okay. So let's see, if I was to head to to Shanghai, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 hexes. Versus potentially 16 up to Port Arthur. Let's see. So if I was to take a look at this, so Jesus, that's a lot of fuel per day. There's a lot of fuel per day. Right, Shanghai. Okay, you can see that fuel per day is actually cut in half when using the U-turns here. So I really do think that is something we do have to bear in mind. I'm only going to be... I'd have to use 12 of them. I think we'll run another convoy of U-turn ends to Shanghai, back to Nagasaki. 20 resources. 100. Right, let's just do a bit of math here. I'll just close my calculator goddamn again. Okay, so let's see. So 20. Nearby we have 100. I don't know if these bases could send. Doesn't look like they have resources anyway. Okay, so there's only really 120 resource centers in this area that I can see. So we times that by 20, which gives us 2,400. The amount will increase once we do cover, well, bring this rail line back. Yeah, so we only have 120 resources, so about 2,000, what was that, 2,400, did I say? I've closed it on tie. Ah, dear. So, yeah, I think Shanghai... Well, then again... Do I want to be running a second convoy? Is the question, I suppose. Let's take a look at how many resources we have by Port Arthur. So we have 20 there. I don't know what the range is where they're going to be drawing from. I wish I could see that information, but we'll just kind of have to figure it out, I guess. Fuck me, there's a lot more resources this way. Fucking hell, definitely. Bloody hell. Okay. So, just from that small area of Manchuria, we can see that we generate 20,400 tons of resources. Of course, we're generating... Well, resources are going to be flowing to Port Arthur, Qizhou, and Fusan. They're only flowing to Qizhou while we build up the port at Fusan. Once the port at Fusan is built up, the resources will instead flow directly to Fusan. And then obviously directly to Port Arthur. Port Arthur due to its sheer capacity. Fusan due to its growing capacity and proximity to Japan. And if this was like a size 10, then everything would flow down to Fusan. But that's the reason why. So, it's one of those. Resources are going to be heading in up to 3 directions over here. We're going to have to try and figure out how many resources per turn end up in these collection centers and try and figure it out through there where we should be having our convoys. But if we take a look at Shanghai, so you can see here resources are only flowing to Shanghai from this area. Yeah, only really up to here, as far as I can understand. What's on Amami Oshima Island looks a bit overcrowded, just under Japan. I'll take a look in a second. But yeah, as far as I can understand with how the game mechanics should work, I think these are the areas where we should be able to draw resources from. I don't know if we could draw it from here as well, considering there's no unit. I'm going to have to look at the rules regarding that. Because then it's like, if I could, then I could draw from up here. Which would add exactly 0 resources. In reality, it's like, to make China work for us, we need to get to this Changsha Basin. Well, this Changsha area. The reason being, let's see. So that goes up to 80. Is that 40? Yeah, so 120. 230. 250. Yeah, 209 resources there, roughly. Unless I've miscounted something, which is obviously pretty unlikely, as I'm pretty terrible at counting what alive. It's not like my maths is awful, it's just, I don't know what it is, it's just, you never do maths while recording. Okay, so 290 times by 20 is about 5,800 resources. So, that's a hell of a reason to go for these areas. But yeah, Amami Oshima. It is a size 3 port, which is quite nice. No airfield, no fortifications. What do we actually have here that makes it worth anything? Some resource generation, which is rather interesting. I do like that. Are we hitting Hong Kong in the first turn? Won't they be unprepared? Let's see. Is there anything else here to make it worthwhile? No. What ships do we have here? Quite a number. Auxiliary aircraft tender there too, some tankers. Intriguing. Right, yes, you raise a good question regarding Hong Kong. So regarding Hong Kong, no Japanese units out there, maybe bombardment from day one. Well, yeah, that's a good point. We have our force just outside of Hong Kong. Now, the resource is going to be interesting. Now, what I actually want to do before I end the session, because I do need to be going rather soon, is what we need to do then is we go to our industry. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn everything off barring the R&D. The reason being, I'm going to turn repairing off. And the reason for that is, frankly, each point of repair costs us 1,000 supply. And that's a hell of a lot. I don't want to be repairing useless bases. I don't want to be repairing, for example, manpower centers when I really don't need them. So what we're going to do then is we're going to turn the repairs off. There we go. So if I turn all that on, not off, bring R&D on, you can see R&D is still set to upgrade and repair and produce. So that's fine. But now what we've done is, across the entirety of the Empire, is we've turned all the repairs off that may have been taking place, or due to take place. It's like I need to actually take a look at the fortification as well, to be fair. I really don't want that happening. I don't know if I can see that one on here. Let's take a look. Right, you're not building fortifications, that's good. So that's something to bear in mind, is we've turned all the possible base repairs off in this area, so they're not going to repair even if it's damaged. And the reason for that is we are going to be lacking supplies in the short term in China. And if I can increase the amount of supplies, that is a hell of a lot better. Right, oil and resources, supply and fuel. I can only see the supply and fuel in Japan at the moment. When I can see it in China, I'll be happy to find out. But I don't have a huge amount of supply. Like, for instance, it looks like I do. Like, I mean, 53,000 tons of supply. 7. Yeah, you bear in mind, I don't have that much supply in China. And bear in mind, like, let's see here, that this army, well, this group of, well, yeah, this division and supporting forces, they're requiring about 1,907 tons of supplies per day. That's a lot. That's a hell of a lot. So, yeah, we need to be very careful. Maybe move those units from Swatao to Hong Kong too, as they're not of use there. Swatao? Oh, Swatao. Yeah. Let's see. I mean, if there's no garrison requirement, there's a pretty large garrison requirement, I'm not going to lie. Let's take a look. What do we have here? I could potentially split this force in half. Guess not. This force could be sent, but that's not many troops and they'll probably be murdered. You can send the 104th Infantry Division, no issues. It would leave this area... I mean, let's take a look. Let's do this quick maths. So, quick maths, woo. Figured out how many troops I could actually send, because I would love to send more artillery. So, let's see. We need 360. So, 360 minus 114 minus 43 minus 8 minus 38 minus 38 minus 25. So yeah, that's going to leave us with a deficit in terms of actual garrison. But bugger it. What we'll do then is we'll send the 104th Division along with these, not these engineers, but the artillery for damn sure, and actually not even these engineers. The Canton Special Base Force stays, of course, as that's static. But yeah, we could send the 104th Division, which would be a worthwhile asset. Now, I can't move you strategically, so what I will do is I'll move you, and obviously you'll take your time to get there, but you'll arrive. So 92, take them about, I don't know what the speed of movement is, depends really on the actual place where they're going to. So what we're going to do then is we're going to set these guys to Hong Kong. So set all march units into this hex to stay in the hex with this unit, so set all to follow. Set all to this operation. Set all to the same objective. Okay, so they're all going to be marching now. So that is about 606 assault value. We do have a good few troops over here, but what we'll do then is we'll have to figure out really how soon we can push it. I don't want to push it too hard because I don't want to have these guys. I mean, they have fatigue already of 27, which is a considerable amount of fatigue. The 104th Division has only 4 fatigue, so that's good to bear in mind. What I could probably do with doing as well is actually take a look at the actual divisional headquarters commander, divisional commander, and potentially having them traded out for a commander that has more assault value. I think that would come under more aggressive, so that's something to bear in mind. But yes, we are predominantly finished with the convoys for now. So that's very good. So what we'll do in the next session, and this might even mean a 5th session is required, as I don't have particularly too much time right now. So yes, we've finished the convoy system more or less. So what we'll do in the next session is obviously take all the cargo ships that aren't being used and send them to Kyoto or Tokyo. Well, Tokyo really. Or to other major ports where they're out of the way. Basically clean up our ports and make things a hell of a lot simpler. We'll also take a look at the ships that we can convert to become patrol boats and the numbers and at which the cost. We'll also take a look at the expansion of the industry. What I need to do in Japan is I need to actually go to every centre that has industry of some nature and increase its supply requirement by, well, increase it to about 5,000 required each turn. Other centres probably increase that as well, potentially more. But yeah, we need to address the supply situation, we need to address the R&D program, we need to address our pilot training program, we need to assess what our tactics are going to be. So in reality, the hard work is nowhere near done yet. Yeah, finally clean ports. So there's much work to be done, and you know what, I can't bloody wait, it's going to be fantastic. Also, you can do the same with armies. Yeah, we're going to clean out Manchuria, we're going to clean out all the Chinese garrisons, and we're going to really use everything to the utmost ability that we have. So, for example, let's see. We're not going to be dealing... Well, actually, this base is actually not being attacked right now, which is rather intriguing. I mean, I'd like to take this area here, but it might even be worth establishing a base there. I'm going to have to look into the rules of establishing bases. But is it even worth it? Is it? Is it really? Yes and no. As it would give us a secondary rail line to use. So, it's an argument there, but there's a lot of Chinese forces here. I think I'd rather just hold on to this base and just give up this rail line. It doesn't really serve much use to me. But then again, it would be another base to have supplies move into. But God, you know what? There's going to be so much of this discussion to come. It's going to be great. So thank you so very much, guys, for watching. And of course, ladies, if there are those of you here watching. It has been great. We've done a lot of talking. And there will be much more to come. I think we might potentially need another stream to 2 streams to really get the rest of the turn done. I'm very happy. I think we're probably going to spend about 10 hours doing this. And you know what? For those of you who make this, make it through this, I think it's going to be worthwhile. So I think at the end of the day, I'm inadvertently making a Japanese tutorial while I go on. So hi, it's going to be great. And if any of you guys have suggestions, please do let me know. I really want every little idea I can possibly get. But I'm really happy about what might potentially be our trump card in August 1942. So yes! Until next time, guys, thank you so very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. And if you would like to see the channel grow, please do consider sharing it, as well as liking and subscribing if you're not already subscribed. And of course, if you want to support me personally, then you can always go ahead and send me something via PayPal, or you can even become one of my patrons. So, thank you so very much, guys. Hope to see you again soon. Have a fantastic day or evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Goodbye.